People often ask, how do you stay hungry when you've already won it all? The answer is simple, because winning is never the finish line. Every trophy, every record, every goal is just proof that I can push even further. The moment you think you've achieved everything is the moment you start dying inside. That's why I never allow myself to believe I've done enough. When you win, the world claps for you. The lights shine, the cameras flash, and for a moment, it feels like nothing could be greater. But the truth is, that exact moment can also be the most dangerous one of your life. Victory has a way of making people relax. It whispers in your ear, you've done enough, you can take it easy now, you can slow down. And most people believe that voice. That's why so many stop climbing after they reach the top of one mountain. They think the view is the end. But what they don't realize is that the top is only a pause, not a finish line. The ones who never settle know this. They understand that winning is not the end. It's just a signal that it's time to start again. When you settle after victory, you rob yourself of everything you could still become. Imagine you've trained your entire life to hold one trophy, and when you finally hold it, you stop. Do you know what happens? Someone else, younger, hungrier, more focused, will rise and take your place. Victory doesn't give you permission to rest forever. It demands that you work harder to stay worthy of it. Every win should light a fire inside you, not put it out. If you treat victory like the finish line, you'll be forgotten. If you treat it like fuel, you'll be remembered. The real secret is to flip the script on success. Don't see it as a conclusion. See it as proof that your hard work pays off and that more is possible. The feeling of holding a medal or breaking a record should not satisfy you. It should haunt you. It should remind you of the taste of sacrifice, the pain in training, the sweat you shed, and make you ask yourself, if I could do this, then what else can I do? That is the mindset of never settling. That is how you build a legacy instead of just having a highlight. Most people don't lose because they're not good enough. They lose because they stop pushing after they win once. Comfort is a trap. The moment you start believing you've made it, you've already begun to decline. The best keep climbing because they know that staying on top is harder than reaching it. When you're chasing, the world doubts you. When you're leading, the world charts you. And if you're not improving every single day, you'll get overtaken. That's why you can never, ever settle. You have to create a hunger so deep that no amount of success can feed it. You have to make victory a challenge in itself. Can I do it again? Can I do it better? Can I do it under even greater pressure? When you live like this, every win becomes a test of your character. Will you let it make you soft, or will you let it sharpen you? That choice is what separates legends from the rest. Think about it, every champion in any field had to face this question after their first big success. Some disappeared because they thought they had arrived. Others became eternal because they treated each win as nothing more than a checkpoint. The truth is, when you settle after victory, you betray the very discipline that got you there. The long nights, the pain, the sweat, the sacrifices, it was all to reach a higher level. If you stop, all of that effort becomes wasted potential. Why would you throw away the chance to see how great you can really be? The hunger that drives you must be stronger than the comfort that tempts you. That's why the best keep training when no one's watching. That's why they push harder after winning than before it. Because they know the spotlight is temporary, but their standard has to last forever. You can't cheat greatness. It requires you to keep proving yourself every single day, not just once. And the beautiful thing about never settling is this. You never run out of purpose. People who stop after victory spend their lives reminiscing about the past. People who never settle spend their lives building the future. They wake up with new goals, new challenges, new battles because they understand that growth never stops. And in that pursuit, they discover that true success isn't about what you've achieved, but about who you become through the relentless process of chasing more. So never settle. When you win, smile for a moment, celebrate if you must, but then get back to work. Remind yourself that there's another mountain, another record, another level that is waiting to be conquered. The world may see you as finished, but you must see yourself as unfinished. That's the only way to stay alive in greatness. Victory is not the end, it's the beginning. And if you learn to treat it that way, you will never run out of hunger, never run out of drive, and never run out of reasons to keep pushing. Because the truth is, greatness has no finish line. Every day you wake up, you are given two choices. Repeat the same routine as yesterday, or create a new challenge that forces you to grow. Most people choose comfort. They wake up, do the bare minimum, and convince themselves that consistency is enough. But consistency without progress is nothing more than survival. If you want to live at the highest level, you cannot allow your days to become copies of each other. You have to create challenges that stretch you, that make you uncomfortable, that push you into places where you doubt yourself, and then force you to rise above that doubt. That is how greatness is built, not once in a while, but every single day. Truth is, the human mind is wired to seek comfort. It looks for shortcuts. It looks for safety. It looks for routines that don't hurt. But if you live by those rules, you become stagnant. You stop evolving. You become predictable. And the moment you're predictable, you're vulnerable. That is why you must wake up each day with the mindset of a challenger, even if the world sees you as a champion. The hunger to create new challenges is the hunger that separates those who stay relevant from those who fade away. Think about it. Every record ever broken, every wall ever shattered, every innovation that changed history happened because someone decided that yesterday's limit wasn't enough. They looked at what had already been done and said, I want to see if I can go beyond it. That mindset is what keeps the flame alive inside you. When you create new challenges daily, you don't give yourself time to get comfortable. You force your body, your mind, and your spirit to operate at a level higher than what you thought was possible. It doesn't always have to be massive. Some challenges will be small, almost invisible to others, but powerful for you. It could be waking up an hour earlier, running one more sprint, reading one more page, or pushing through one more repetition when your body is screaming to stop. Other challenges may be monumental, breaking a record, stepping into unknown territory, competing against someone the world says you cannot beat. The size of the challenge doesn't matter. What matters is that it's new, that it forces you to reach further than you did yesterday. Every time you create a new challenge, you are training yourself to be uncomfortable. And when you live in discomfort, success becomes natural. Because while others are paralyzed by pressure, you are thriving in it. While others back down when things get harder, you are smiling because that's where you live inside the fire. This is the real secret of champions. They don't wait for challenges to come to them. They create their own. They build an environment so demanding that the actual competition feels easier than the training. Creating new challenges daily also destroys complacency. It prevents your mind from whispering that dangerous lie. You've done enough. That voice is the killer of ambition. It's the voice that tells you to slow down after a win, to take it easy after progress, to relax because no one is chasing you. But the truth is, someone is always chasing you. If it's not another person, then it's the weaker version of yourself waiting for you to slip. New challenges silence that voice. They remind you that there is always another level, another layer, another battle waiting to be fought. When you live with this mindset, life itself becomes a training ground. You stop fearing obstacles because you see them as opportunities. You stop dreading pressure because you know pressure is the ultimate stage for growth. Every morning becomes exciting because you're not just repeating yesterday, you're building a stronger, sharper, more resilient version of yourself. That constant sharpening makes you unbreakable because you're not dependent on the applause of the crowd or the validation of success. Your validation comes from knowing you didn't waste the day, you used it to become more. And there's something beautiful about this approach. It makes you unstoppable. Because the person who challenges themselves every single day cannot be controlled by setbacks. Failure doesn't crush them. It fuels them. Disappointment doesn't slow them. It teaches them. Critics don't distract them. They drive them. Why? Because they understand that life is not about achieving one perfect moment. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face anything, anywhere, anytime. This is the hunger that keeps you alive after victory. This is the mindset that makes you dangerous in every arena of life. Not because you're better than others, but because you are better than who you were yesterday. And if you repeat that process day after day, year after year, the gap between you and the rest of the world becomes unshakable. So, don't wait for opportunities. Create them. Don't wait for challenges to arrive. Design them. Push yourself into spaces where most people refuse to go. Set goals so big they scare you, then break them into daily battles you can fight every single morning. Because the day you stop challenging yourself is the day you stop growing. And the day you stop growing is the day you start dying. Every sunrise is another chance to prove that you are not finished yet. That's why every single day matters. That's why every single day demands a new challenge. Because the truth is simple: comfort is the enemy of greatness. And the only way to stay hungry after winning everything is to make sure that today is harder than yesterday, and tomorrow will be harder than today. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It feels good, it feels safe, it feels easy, but it is also the very thing that steals your edge. Discipline, on the other hand, is painful. It demands sacrifices. It forces you to show up when you don't feel like it. It requires you to say no to things that would give you temporary pleasure. But that pain, that sacrifice, that consistency is the only thing that transforms potential into power. Talent may open a first door, but discipline is what keeps you inside the room. Without it, everything you've worked for can vanish in a moment. Most people chase comfort their entire lives. They want the shortcut, the easy path, the instant rewards. They convince themselves that working hard only when they feel motivated is enough. But motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is permanent. It doesn't ask if you're in the mood. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't negotiate with your excuses. Discipline is showing up on the days when every cell in your body is screaming for rest. Discipline is choosing the hard thing today so you can live the extraordinary life tomorrow. Think about the times when you felt the most proud of yourself. Were those moments born from comfort, or were they born from struggle? Every victory, every breakthrough, every success came because you resisted the easy path and embraced the difficult one. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Without that bridge, you stay stuck on the same side forever, watching your dreams from a distance. With it, you walk across daily, step by step, until the impossible becomes reality. Discipline is not glamorous. You won't always have an audience watching you train. You won't always get applause for saying no to distractions. In fact, most of the time, nobody will notice. That's the point. Discipline is built in silence. It's forged in the dark, when no one is clapping, when no one is watching, when no one will know whether you did the work or not. And that's what makes it so powerful. Because when the lights finally shine, when the stage is finally set, the discipline you built in private will explode in public. Comfort deceives you into thinking you have time. It whispers that you can start tomorrow, that missing one day won't matter, that cutting one corner is harmless. But every time you choose comfort over discipline, you weaken yourself. You build the habit of quitting, of lowering your standards, of accepting mediocrity, and habits, once built, become chains. That's why so many people never break free from ordinary lives. They let comfort enslave them slowly until they forget they were meant for more. Discipline breaks those chains. It reminds you that greatness isn't given, it's earned. It teaches you that the price of excellence must be paid daily, not just once. It builds an inner toughness that nothing can shake. Because when you have trained yourself to do the hard things consistently, challenges no longer scare you. Pressure no longer rattles you. Failure no longer destroys you. Discipline arms you with resilience, and resilience is the weapon that carries you further than talent ever could. There will always be a battle inside you. One voice telling you to relax, to slow down, to enjoy the comfort, and another voice telling you to rise, to fight, to keep going. Which voice wins depends on what you've trained. If you've trained comfort, then laziness wins. If you've trained discipline, then determination wins. And once discipline becomes your identity, you don't even need to debate anymore. It becomes automatic. You don't ask, should I train today? You just do it. You don't ask, should I push harder? You just push. That's the power of discipline. It rewires your entire mindset so that hard becomes normal. People often say discipline is sacrifice, but the truth is comfort is the real sacrifice. When you choose comfort, you sacrifice your future, you sacrifice your health, your success, your potential, your greatness, all for a moment of ease. Discipline, on the other hand, feels like sacrifice in the moment, but it gives you freedom later. It gives you confidence, strength, pride, and results that comfort can never buy. The pain of discipline lasts minutes. The pain of regret lasts a lifetime. And here's the reality. Discipline doesn't just shape your career, it shapes your entire life. It affects how you think, how you carry yourself, how you face adversity. The person who has trained discipline in one area will apply it everywhere. They won't quit on relationships. They won't give up when life gets unfair. They won't collapse under pressure. They've built the muscle of doing what needs to be done, whether they like it or not. And that muscle is what makes them unbreakable. So the question is not whether you have talent or not. The question is not whether you've won before or not. The question is, do you have the discipline to keep going when comfort calls your name? Do you have the discipline to put in the work when no one is clapping? Do you have the discipline to delay gratification, to say no to distractions, to live like others want, so one day you can live like others can't? That's the battle every champion faces. The truth is simple. Comfort is easy, but it keeps you ordinary. Discipline is hard, but it makes you extraordinary. And the people who choose discipline over comfort day after day are the ones who never run out of hunger. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. They don't hope for greatness, they build it. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most disciplined. Hunger is not something you are born with. It is not some magical fire that a few lucky people wake up with every day. Hunger is a decision. It is a choice you make when you look at everything you've achieved and still say to yourself, it's not enough. It's a decision to keep pushing when you could easily stop, to keep fighting when you could comfortably sit back and be celebrated. Hunger is not given, it is chosen, and that choice is what separates the ones who fade after a single victory from the ones who build legacies that last forever. Every single person has moments where it would be easier to relax. You win a game, you hit a target, you get recognition, and suddenly the temptation creeps in. Take a break, slow down, enjoy the comfort. That temptation is powerful because it sounds logical. You worked hard, you earned it, so why not just rest? But here's the truth. Rest turns into complacency. Complacency turns into decline, and decline erases everything you've built. The only way to avoid that trap is to consciously choose hunger, to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am not finished yet. There is more inside me. There is another level I have not reached. Hunger is not about starving for something you don't have. It is about refusing to be satisfied with what you already do. It is about creating a fire inside yourself that no achievement can extinguish. People think hunger disappears once you've won enough, once you've owed enough, once you've proven yourself enough. But the truth is, hunger only disappears if you allow it to. You can win every title, every medal, every recognition, and still wake up every morning feeling like you've achieved nothing compared to what you're capable of. That mindset is a choice, and only the ones who make it rise to the highest levels again and again. Think about the greatest people in any field. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. They all reach points where they could have stopped. They could have said, I've done enough. Let someone else take over. But instead they chose to stay hungry. They chose to push further. They chose to challenge themselves even when they had nothing left to prove to the world. Why? Because their hunger wasn't about recognition. It was about growth. It wasn't about applause. It was about potential. They understood that the moment you stop choosing hunger is the moment you stop evolving. Choosing hunger is painful. It means saying no when the world tells you yes. It means going to the gym when your body begs you to rest. It means staying disciplined when everyone around you is celebrating. It means creating standards so high that Even your best doesn't feel like enough. That level of commitment hurts. But that pain is the reason hunger works. It forces you to dig deeper, to unlock levels of yourself you didn't even know existed. Without hunger, you live inside your limits. With hunger, you break them. And hunger is not just about big goals or trophies. It's about the small choices you make every day. Do you hit the snooze button or do you rise before the sun? Do you do the extra rep or do you stop when it hurts? Do you review one more detail or do you settle for good enough? Every time you choose the harder option, you are choosing hunger. Every time you decide to stretch a little further, you are feeding the fire inside you. These small decisions compound over time until they turn you into someone unstoppable. The truth is, hunger is rare because it is uncomfortable. Most people don't want to keep chasing when they've already won. Most people want peace, not pressure, but pressure is what keeps you sharp, and hunger is what creates that pressure. It makes you restless. It makes you demand more. It keeps you searching for challenges when the easy thing would be to enjoy what you've already done. That's why hunger must be a choice, because nobody naturally craves discomfort. You have to decide consciously that greatness is worth more than ease. When you live with hunger, you stop being driven by external rewards. You don't chase money, fame, or recognition. Those things may come, but they are not the reason you keep going. You keep going because you know that your best is still ahead of you. You keep going because the chase itself makes you alive. You keep going because you refuse to accept the idea that you have peaked. Hunger gives you purpose when others lose theirs. It keeps your fire alive when others burn out. And the most powerful part of hunger is this: it is never taken from you. No one can give it to you, and no one can take it away. It is not a gift. It is not luck. It is not talent. It is a decision. Every day you wake up and choose to be hungry, or you choose to be satisfied. Every day you either tell yourself, I'm done, or I'm not done yet. And those daily choices, repeated over years, define whether you remain ordinary or become legendary. So ask yourself, are you gonna let your past victories be the reason you slow down? Or are you gonna use them as fuel to demand more? Are you gonna let comfort put out your fire? Or are you gonna keep feeding it no matter how much it burns? Because at the end of the day, hunger is not about what you've achieved. Hunger is about what you're still willing to fight for. And the truth is, greatness does not belong to the ones who had it easy. Greatness belongs to the ones who kept choosing hunger long after they had every reason to stop. So remember this, trophies will fade, applause will die down, records will eventually be broken, but the fire you choose to carry inside you can never be taken away. Stay hungry, stay relentless, and never convince yourself that you've reached the top. Because the moment you do, you start sliding down. Greatness has no finish line. And as long as you keep choosing hunger over comfort, discipline over excuses, and challenges over ease, you will not just win. You will become unstoppable.